Hey guys, this is the all-new 2021 Trek Emonda in the color Quicksilver Gray. So fun little fact that I just figured out recently, the three Trek bikes, the Emonda, Domani, and Madone, all share the same letters but just spelled differently. Pretty cool, right? I just found that out. So before we begin our review, let's start off with a free hub sound check. So quiet. Okay, let's go. So this bike I have here is a Trek Emonda SL5 in a size 54, and for reference I am 175 centimeters tall. Let's start off with the specs. So this bike comes with full Shimano 105 mechanical shifting with hydraulic disc brakes. Here at the front crankset we have a 50-34. Here at the rear we have an 11 to 30 speed at the back. Braking is also Shimano 105. The rotors are just standard Shimano rotors, but they do come with Shimano's ice technology, so it does keep it nice and cool. The rotors here at the front are 160 millimeters, and also at the rear is also 160 millimeters, so you get really nice braking power from these rotors. The standard bike comes with the aluminum wheel set. This one, however, has the upgraded wheel set, also found on the SLR7 models. It is the Bontrager Aeolus Pro 37, so 37 millimeters deep and carbon. This one is set up tubeless, and the tires on this one are giant tires. Not sure what those ones are doing on here, but I guess they are pretty fast as well. Doesn't really matter. So the wheels on this bike are also through axles, so you get this little hex tool that you can use to take on or off the wheel, and you can choose to leave it on or off the bike as well after you're done. So you just stick it in here. To unscrew, you just unscrew it this way, and then to loosen, and then to tighten it up, you just screw it the other way, and you're good. And then when you're done, you can leave it on the bike, and it looks pretty aerodynamic, pretty neat. Or if you want to make it look better, you just take it off and you put this in your pocket and you're good. There are two versions of the Emonda, the SLR and the SL. This one being the SL version doesn't come with an integrated cockpit. The SLR version comes with a fully integrated carbon handlebar and stem, one piece. The SL version comes in a two-piece standard stem and a handlebar. So even though this is not the SLR versions with the integrated cockpit, all the cables are neatly handled, and especially compared to my TCR, which has cables sticking in and out, this bike looks really clean compared to my TCR. So everything is run very neatly through, and then even the brake cables run inside and through the forks, and then they come out on the brakes right here. So compare that to my TCR, it has a cable that runs out and into the fork. This one is very clean, doesn't have any visible cables sticking out. So really nice there. Also, this new front end is really nice, very aerodynamic shaping. It really looks like the Madone, and I really like the tube shapes over here as well as the Trek logo right here. So one thing you'll notice at the back is if you rotate it, you actually have the words go, 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 go. It's a pretty neat feature. I kind of like it. Makes you want to go faster around corners. Another neat feature about this bike is the seat tube design is a bit different. So the seat tube is a one-piece design with the frame, and then to adjust the height, you actually have this aluminum cap that goes over the stem, and then to adjust it, you would just loosen this cap and you would slide it up and down. Most bikes have a post that you go up and down, but this one has a cap that you adjust, and there we go. So one thing I don't like about this bike is that there is no ISO speed found on this bike, and I guess there's a good reason for that, because this is an Emonda and it is a dedicated climbing bike. You want it to be as light as possible. I can see why Trek didn't integrate the ISO speed. I would love to see it, especially when the Madone and Domani both have it, as well as this bike doesn't also have the burrito tube that is found on the Domani. Really neat feature that I wish the new Emonda had. But once again, this one is a dedicated race bike, so I can see for weight reasons that they didn't include the ISO speed. Let's check out the weight of this bike. Alright, so the weight comes in at 8.95 kilograms. So one more feature that I really like about this bike is on the top tube we have the Emonda logo, and it's actually 3D, so if you run your fingers over it, you can actually feel the bumps on it. And just on top of that, we have this textured part that we don't actually see on a lot of bikes. So if you run your fingers through it, it's actually bumpy, so like you can kind of like run your fingers like that. It's a really neat texture that I don't see on a lot of bikes, and it's just a small feature that I really like from this one. Alright guys, so let's switch to my GoPro POV footage and we'll see how it rides. Let's go! Alright, first impressions of the Trek Emonda SL5 is that it rides very similar to my TCR. In fact, both these bikes are in the same category, so I wouldn't be surprised from that. Although the Emonda does weigh 1 kg heavier than my TCR, on this flat section I can barely notice the weight penalty when accelerating. This bike feels just as stiff and responsive, accelerates when you want to, and cornering is also very stable as well. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that this bike doesn't have the rear ISO speed, but for those of you who are worried that this bike will be very uncomfortable on long distances, don't. This bike is still very smooth. Although it won't be as comfortable as the Domani with the ISO speed, but for a race bike, you will still be able to ride long distances without feeling pain in your butt. So overall, really impressed by this bike. Having ridden the Madone, Emonda, and Domani, I feel that all three bikes are very unique and serve a different riding style. So if you want a pure lightweight climbing bike that's also fast on flats, then I think the Emonda might be what you're looking for. So what do you guys think of the new 2021 Trek Emonda? Let me know in the comment section down below, and if you like my videos and want to see future content, maybe a Tarmac SL7, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I believe I have one coming in, so I'll definitely be reviewing that one. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.